been a minute. So, I watched some news tonight. I haven't been watching the news lately, but we turned it on. And I have to talk about the 12 women that are suing the Mobile County Sheriff's Department. Let me turn this TV off. They are suing the Mobile County Sheriff's Department because they are correctional officers. And these 12 women have been sexually harassed at their job. However, they're being sexually harassed by the inmates, not their co-workers. And I'm not really sure, like, did they not get a pamphlet that, says this is your job description, you're babysitting people who don't know how to obey the rules? But it's just like the sheriff said on the news tonight. He was like, we've done everything we can, but there's only so much you can do with prisoners. So here's the question. Everybody's always so quick to defend the prisoners. You've heard me say this before. Like, it seems as though prisoners have more rights than the citizens do, than the people that do obey the laws. So how does that work out for these women who are after, what was the name? What did they call it? Monetary relief is what they're after. So that is why they're not gonna settle out of court. They're gonna go to trial with it, simply because, that's your job. And apparently majority of the correctional officers at Metro Jail are female. And I'm sure it's not an easy job, and I'm sure you have to do things or see things and hear things that are probably very rude, nasty, and you'd rather not have to deal with. However, that's your job. Like, you signed on the line saying, hey, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do this job and I'm going to babysit these people. They're in there for a reason. They're not in there because they're well-behaved, contributing members of society. So it kind of reminds me of the McDonald's, caution hot cup or hot coffee in this cup thing. I mean, how ridiculous can you be? But whatever. So then you have Nancy Pelosi, who is saying that the border crisis is a humanitarian crisis, and it is because of the broken system that they inherited from President Trump. So with President Trump, he had the wall, he was keeping them out, and everything kind of had a way of going. Like, I wasn't there, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. However, we didn't have all these people running up to the border wearing Donald Trump shirts, let us in. They knew if they came, they were probably going to get turned back around. So the day Joe Biden takes office, they start flooding across our borders, literally wearing shirts with Joe Biden's face on it, let us in. And it's supposed to be Donald Trump's fault. Have y'all noticed how every time somebody calls her on her crap, she's always the first to spin around and be like, oh no, that's somebody else's fault. Just like her going to get her hair done. Oh, that was a setup. When is Nancy Pelosi ever going to own up to any of her mistakes? When will she ever admit she's wrong? Pretty sure that'll be the day hell freezes over. So we're kind of screwed on that point. However, fun fact, Nancy Pelosi, as of January of this year, her net worth is $140 million. $140 million. She also, her and her husband also have a real estate company that they operate that's worth $20 million. So how much of their personal money are they pouring out to help all these immigrants that they're so worried about? Because when the immigrants cross the border, guess what our tax dollars are going to pay for? They're paying to not only get them across the border, but they're buying them plane tickets to send them where they need to go. How absurd is that? Like, we have so many people here that are hungry. We have people here who do not have jobs, yet you're letting all of these people flood our borders so they can do jobs that essentially you're making the Americans not want to do because you just keep giving them money. Like, rather than giving them the ambition to get up and get a job and do something for themselves, you just want to keep handing it to them and let these people come on over and do the little, the crap jobs that nobody wants to do. Well, have you thought about maybe that's part of what's wrong with our younger generations? Like, they've never had to work for anything. Like, they never had to get out and work a summer job in the heat. They never learned those life lessons because we had all these immigrants coming over and doing it for them. It's very simple. People need to get back to common sense, number one. And rather than throwing money at a problem to try to fix it, maybe you should figure out where the problem comes from. And maybe that's where you should put your time and money. Not, oh, you got all these people living in poverty, here's another $2,000 check. No. Why don't you teach these people how to live with the money they have and how to make more money, rather than just saying, oh, it's okay, I'll just keep sending you a check and you'll be just fine? It's absurd. How will we ever survive as a civilization? I have no idea. Under 4 years of this mess, I have no idea. I don't know how the heck we've made it this long. Look at gas prices already. And all of these people that voted for Biden, like, I don't even want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. It's sad. I mean, my kid went and put $10 worth of gas in his truck the other day. He's like, Mama, that didn't even give me a half of a quarter of a tank. And I'm like, no kidding, son. Like, it's only going to get worse. You might want to think about trading that truck. So, then, a while ago on the TV, they were playing a thing from the Grammys, because I don't watch that mess. However, Cardi B was on there. I don't know anything about Cardi B. That me and her ain't got nothing in common. However, how is it they can let that little heifer get up on stage at the Grammys, where God only knows who's watching this mess, and downright look like a stripper dancing on a big old bed? And that's supposed to be okay. That is what our younger generation, that's what younger girls are looking up to. And songs like The WAP are okay. However, God forbid they watch Peter Pan. Or, God forbid we listen to the song Baby It's Cold Outside at Christmas time. Like, seriously? They banned that one from the radio, but they're going to play The WAP. I mean, where's the morals there? That lady needs to put on some clothes and get a little bit better of a moral compass. Like, I don't know where her parents are at, but somebody should have taught that little girl something. What else did I want to talk to y'all about? Oh, I missed this part. While we were talking about the border crisis and all, she stopped building the wall. They stopped building the wall. I don't know if they tore it down or whatever they're doing with the wall, but there's no more construction going on the wall. But that's probably because they moved everything over to the freaking Capitol. So we don't need fences, and walls don't work to keep people out, but we do need a big fortress around the Capitol where we all sit, right? How fair is that? So y'all are all safe and protected over here while you let all of these illegals come across our border with God only knows what kind of diseases, God only knows what kind of intentions they have, but that's okay because you're locked up behind that big old fence over there with the razor wire sitting at the Capitol that we pay for. I gotta figure out how to turn this off.